The Aarushi Talwar murder case. A tragic puzzle of family, media, and justice, the crime. A night of horror on the evening of May 15, 2008, tragedy struck the Talwar household on Noida, Uttar Pradesh when Aarushi Talwar, a 14-year-old schoolgirl, was found brutally murdered in her bedroom. Aarushi's throat had been slit and she had been hit with a blunt object, leading to immediate shock and horror in the community. At first, investigators were under the impression that the family's servant, Hemraj Banjade, might have committed the murder and fled the scene. However, the case took an unexpected turn when just 2 days later, Hemraj's body was discovered on the terrace of the Talwar family's home, also murdered in a similar fashion. The discovery of both bodies in the same household sent shockwaves throughout India, leading to widespread media attention. The initial belief was that this was an intruder's crime, but as the investigation unfolded, questions about the Talwar family's involvement began to surface, sparking a national debate on the case. Unraveling the mystery, initially, the Noida police suspected that Hemraj had killed Aarushi in a fit of rage, possibly after an argument, but when his body was discovered, theories shifted. The police turned their attention to the Talwar family, particularly Aarushi's father, Dr. Rajesh Talwar, a well-known dentist, and his wife, Nupur Talwar. As police worked through the evidence, they began to suspect an internal motive. The first theory was that Aarushi might have been involved in an illicit relationship with Hemraj. The police suggested this as a possible motive for the murders, considering the fact that both victims had been killed in a similar manner, indicating a professional level of violence. The police hypothesized that Rajesh Talwar, upon discovering this, may have killed his daughter in anger and then killed Hemraj to cover up the crime. However, there were many inconsistencies in this police investigation. Crucial evidence was mishandled and the timeline of the events was unclear. The focus on the Talwars as prime suspects was controversial. No physical evidence like DNA or fingerprints was found linking them directly to the crime. But the media, in its race to report on the case, seized on the theory of a family dispute gone wrong, further sensationalizing the situation. The Talwars under scrutiny in 2010 after 2 years of intense investigation and media coverage. Dr. Rajesh Talwar and Nupur Talwar were arrested. The police charged the couple with the murders of their daughter and Hemraj, citing their supposed involvement in a domestic dispute that escalated into murder. The arrest of the Talwars shocked the nation, and the public was divided. Many believed the couple was guilty, while others felt they were victims of a botched investigation and media hysteria. The case quickly became a symbol of how high-profile cases could be distorted by media pressure, and the Talwars found themselves at the center of public scrutiny. Their lives were under a microscope, and the media portrayed them as perpetrators, despite the lack of solid evidence. A long and winding road, the trial of the Talwars began amidst widespread attention, and it was clear that the case had become a media spectacle. The prosecution's theory relied heavily on the argument that the Talwars were motivated by honor, believing that their daughter had been involved with Hemraj. The defense, on the other hand, argued that the police had not investigated properly, and that there was no conclusive evidence to charge the Talwars. The trial became an arena for accusations and counter-accusations, with the police coming under scrutiny for their handling of the investigation. Key witnesses were dismissed, and crucial evidence was either lost or mishandled. Many felt that the investigation had been flawed from the beginning, and the focus on the Talwars as suspect was based more on circumstantial evidence than on solid facts. One of the most striking aspects of the trial was the role of the media. The case was covered extensively, with sensational headlines and constant speculation. The media's portrayal of the Talwars as guilty seemed to shape public opinion even before the trial concluded, leading many to believe that the couple had been convicted in the court of public opinion before they had been found guilty in the court of law. In 2017, nearly a decade after the murders, the Allahabad High Court delivered a landmark verdict. The Talwars were acquitted of all charges. The court ruled that there was insufficient evidence to convict the couple, and it noted serious flaws in the police investigation. The acquittal came as a surprise to many, given the intensity of media coverage and the public belief that the Talwars were guilty. The court's ruling did not conclusively point to the true identity of the killers, and the case remains unsolved in terms of finding the exact perpetrator. The acquittal was a bittersweet moment for the Talwars. They had been exonerated legally, but the damage had already been done. The media frenzy, the social stigma, and the years of suspicion had taken a heavy toll on their lives. The verdict, however, raised new questions about the investigation. Who really killed Aarushi and Hemraj? Could it have been someone outside from the family? Was it an intruder? Or was it someone that the Talwars knew well? The case continues to be a subject of public debate and speculation, with various theories still circulating. The Aarushi Talwar case remains one of India's most notorious criminal cases, and it has had a lasting impact on how high-profile cases are reported and handled. The case sparked debates about the integrity of the criminal justice system, the role of the media in shaping public opinion, and the challenges of investigating complex family crimes. For the Talwar family, the years of trauma, the loss of their daughter, and the media circus that surrounded their trial left scars that may never fully heal. Despite their acquittal, the shadow of suspicion still hangs over the case. While the Talwars may have been legally cleared, the true identity of the killers remains elusive. In the years following the case, the Talwars have largely remained out of the public eye, attempting to rebuild their lives. The case, however, continues to inspire books, documentaries, and TV shows, each offering new perspectives and theories. The Aarushi Talwar murder case is a haunting reminder of the complexities of criminal investigations, especially when a high-profile family is involved. While the legal proceedings have come to an end, the true story behind the murders remains a mystery. Whether the Talwars were victims of a flawed investigation or were in fact the perpetrators is something that will never be fully known. What is clear, however, is the lasting impact this case has on the media, public, and the criminal justice system. It has become a symbol of how family tragedies, when caught in the media spotlight, can become public spectacles that transcend the realm of the law. The case of Aarushi Talwar will likely continue to be discussed and analyzed for years to come, as the search for truth in this tragic and enigmatic case remains ongoing. Thank you for watching.